Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, a member here at Trinity Church in Myrtle Beach, with another edition of Wow, I Didn't Know That. My guest today is Carrie Sue, who's carries on many facets of life here at the church as a volunteer. She's a mother of four, a wife, and on the vestry, and the list is very, very long. So we thought we'd explore a little bit about what she's doing here at Trinity and what she does here in Myrtle Beach. So welcome.
Thank you.
So my first question is that tell us a little bit about your early life. You grew up in Hastings, Minnesota, a cold place in the wintertime.
They got 7 inches of snow yesterday.
There you go. And so tell us a little bit about whether you were homeschooled or your parents' Christian journey, your journey there early in your life.
Yeah, I grew up in a Christian home. My parents are believers, so we're both sets of my grandparents, so I'm very blessed in that way. My parents are actually both school teachers, or were before they retired, and I went to a Christian high school where they were both teachers, so I could see them every day, had them for classes, which was fun. And it was actually my early days at the church in Minnesota that introduced me to missions, to what it meant to really be a believer, and more than just religion, but also living it out your whole life.
Did you have one particular person? Sometimes people have, in their faith journey, they'll have a particular person or experience that ignites the Christian journey, or was it spread over time in a series of events?
Yeah, I was really thankful that I had a lot of really solid youth volunteers and teachers at the Christian school that really invested and inputted in me. But one of my earliest experiences was doing missions trips with my youth group. So my first one was before my freshman year, and then every summer we would go on a short-term trip, which led to my life and ministry now.
Well, your life and ministry now is the majority of the time is in mission work,
Yeah.
along with your husband Joe.
Yes.
How did that come about? Was that, I mean, you explained your early life, but how did you and Joe purpose yourselves together to focus on missions that are here in the United States, Myrtle Beach, and abroad? How did that happen?
Yeah, so we had been working in a church. Joe was in graduate school, and I had done a lot of missions in my post-high school days and during high school. Then we met in college and were in the education world for a while. And it was after Joe had graduated from graduate school that we decided to do a longer short-term trip as a couple. So our twins were 2, and we packed up everything and left and went and did a 6-month training program. And in that 6 months, we decided to stay with Youth with a Mission long-term. So that happened in 2008, and so it's been a long journey, but yeah.
You mentioned Youth with a Mission, and we know that often as YWAM here
Yes.
in Myrtle Beach.
Yep.
And you established a program here in Myrtle Beach of YWAM. Tell us something about some of the things that YWAM does here in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, we've been in Myrtle Beach since 2016. The base location here was founded 4 years before that. And so YWAM Myrtle Beach does several things. We run training programs where we train young people and we take them overseas. We host short-term missions teams that come here and do local outreach in Myrtle Beach. We work with international students in the summertime with J1 students. And we also have a ministry in the Carver apartment projects that we do weekly, bi-weekly. And so we do a combination of international ministry, taking teams overseas and working with partners overseas, as well as local outreach here.
So YWAM has partnered with Trinity and one in a variety of different ways, but more specifically in the Carver Apartments project, I call it a project, where there has been a focus in middle school students primarily, I think. And tell us a little bit about how you and Joe had a vision and how it came to be really our youth program, where probably 80%, I'm guessing, if not more, of Trinity's youth program are represented in the Carver students who get transported here for an hour and a half and have dinner, games, and some teaching, Christian
Yeah.
teaching. So tell us a little bit about that, why that's important not only to the community but perhaps to Trinity.
Yeah. So ministry in the projects was not something we had ever thought we would do when we came to Myrtle Beach. That actually wasn't the picture we had of Myrtle Beach before we came. But when we first moved to Myrtle Beach and were looking for a place to live, we ended up driving through the hill, through that neighborhood. And God sparked something particularly in Joe's heart for that neighborhood. So that first year that we were here, we were running a training school, and we just started going to the park in the neighborhood. And we would go every week. We started just running a really low-key after-school program with the kids. And that has built over time, and as we have gone on, these kids that started out as little elementary school kids have grown, and they're now the majority of our youth group. Are these kids that we've known now for 4 years and have seen them grow, and they were hungry and excited for an opportunity to get out of the neighborhood, to come to church, and to be together. So we're just kind of riding that wave, and Trinity has been so amazing in embracing these kids and embracing the ministry and really getting behind it. So we've been really encouraged by that.
There's a fine line for those kids in that in the Carver Apartments between having this kind of a program and the other challenges that are right outside their door, specifically in gangs, as an example. Can you speak a little bit about the importance of what we do in our partnership relative to keeping them from falling in?
Yeah, I think that any amount of time that we can get kids into a different environment to disrupt kind of the norm that's happening in their day-to-day life is valuable and important. So the fact that we get to do that here in the church with a specific focus of sharing the gospel with them, I think is huge. And you know, not all of them are making good choices when they're not here, but we still love them, and we're showing up and being there for them, and they're responding to that. So we're really encouraged that they still come. You know, there's a lot of other things they could be doing on Sunday nights, and they choose to come here. So we're excited about
Thank
that.
you. One final question, and that has to do with just looking, spying the future, if you will. We have a partnership, we meaning Trinity Church and YWAM together. If you were to project a little bit into the future, how would you see that program either growing or expanding, and the importance of it, maintaining the importance of it in the future?
Yeah, so we have kind of already started projecting towards the future a little bit. So with COVID-19, we've seen a greater need for tutoring in the neighborhood, and so we've launched a tutoring program this fall, and we've had Trinity members come and join us. So I think the next step for me is twofold. Getting some more Trinity folks here on Sunday nights to invest in the lives of the kids, and then getting Trinity folks to come with us on Wednesday afternoons to the Carver neighborhood to really plug in and invest in where they're at as well. So I see that as an opportunity. You know, we have so much here at Trinity, and we're so blessed as a congregation. And I think we give a lot, which is awesome. I think that the thing that is going to turn the tide in the lives of these kids is our investment of ourselves and our time and our knowledge and understanding, and building relationship is really going to be the thing that's going to take us to the next level with the kids.
That's terrific. Well, thank you, Carrie, for this opportunity to share what's going on with YWAM, your early life, and life here at Trinity, and where you see the future. So I want to also thank Jennifer for her sharing her talents and making this video and prior videos, and the next one's coming up. And Paul, our interim director, for letting us do that. And the vestry for supporting the youth program here at Trinity. So we look forward to your comment. Don't hesitate to put them in the comment line in YouTube, so we can hear more from you and know who you are and where you are. And we look forward to you joining us again in the next edition of Wow, I Didn't Know That.